Hey guys, thanks for watching. Let's discuss stakeholder management instruments. For a better understanding of how should you communicate with all stakeholders, what kind of information and to whom it should be sent, the next step is to use RACI metrics. This is another tool which shows you who and for what is responsible in order to manage communication in a fitting manner. As you already know, every activity should have a person in charge. We have a list of tasks and four people, A, B, C, and D in our example. Now, we have to understand what their responsibility is in regardless to the project. RACI actually means R from responsible. The person assigned to the work needs to complete the task. A from accountable. The person who makes the final decision and is held accountable for correct completion of the deliverable or task. There must only be one accountable per function. C from consulted, the person who must be consulted before the action is taken. Typically, it's subject matter expert. Informed, the person who must be informed that a decision or action has been taken. In the following example, you can monitor the link between each person and their responsibility for every task. For task 1, person A is consulted. Therefore, the project manager should consult with the person A before the action is taken. Person B is responsible to do the work to complete the task. Person C is accountable and he or she makes a final decision and is held responsible for correct completion of the deliverable or a task. And person D is informed by a project manager that a decision or action has been taken. Same thing you have to do with all your stakeholders to know what kind of responsibilities do they have. In this case, you will not spend too much time to address the question in case of. As for now, we already know who are the stakeholders for our projects, what their roles and responsibilities are. Moving on, we have to create and establish the stakeholder register, which will demonstrate all of the necessary information about the stakeholder. Here we have a list of stakeholders from the left side. For example, John. He's project manager from the project management office. He upholds a high power and interest for the project. Our project calls implementation of project management model into ERP system. And John expects that this model will be done by October 1st. In order to meet this deadline, he needs a development team for 2 months for a successful release. His primary responsibility is to design a flow for this module, including steps, templates, notifications, etc. Eric, in our example, is a sponsor who possesses the highest level of power and interest. Thus, he expects that module will be released within the required deadline and budget. He needs to be informed weekly about status of the project because it is a strategic one. Once the project itself is strategic, he is ready to allocate necessary resources to make the project successful. And in our example is the head of the IT department. And although she has a high level of power, she has low level of interest, for example. To make this project fit accordingly in regards to the scope and the objectives, she needs a detailed information of what should be done, all logical dependencies, scenarios, and so on, to make sure that the development is going according to description and needs to schedule weekly meetings with stakeholders to adjust certain elements if needed. As of now, you should know your stakeholders, their roles, responsibilities, and expectations. The most important aspect of being a great project manager is to always ensure quality communication with all stakeholders, because it's a key for the project success. Just remember some critical aspects when dealing with stakeholders. First of all, everyone is important, even if he or she has low power and interest. As a great project managers, we must always communicate with all stakeholders. We have to understand their expectations and bottlenecks. The main objective in the stakeholder management process is to satisfy their requirements, just always keep in mind that the main objectives in the stakeholder management process is to satisfy their requirements. And to make this happen, it's really beneficial to utilize tools like stakeholder analysis metrics and RACI metrics, as well as share the stakeholder register document with all of them. The simplest and the most powerful tool, guys, just remember, is communication. Okay, guys, moving on, our next topic is very important, which is called risk management.